Happy Friday, mathematicians. Today our skill lesson is going to be plotting mixed numbers and improper fractions. I want to do a quick review from yesterday. Before we get started though, again, I apologize. My videos record better if I don't have my face in a little mini webcam in the corner. So again, you get to hear Miss Matters and her floating voice. So again, apologies about that because I would much rather have my face up there. Here we go. I wanted to review plotting decimal and fraction rules. I'm going to post this in our Google Classroom as well as a resource, but let's do a little review. This is a great time to be pausing the video when you need to and writing these steps down. Remember, with plotting decimals, we're going to determine the two whole numbers that the decimal is in between. So look at the ones column, or it could be tens, hundreds, whatever, anything to the left of the decimal to determine which whole numbers the decimal is in between. Remember, if you have, let's say 0.6, that decimal is in between 0 and 1. Our next step is to mark 10 spaces. This is how we're going to start with plotting decimals. So mark 10 spaces or hashes on the number line to represent the tenths, 0.1, between the whole numbers. The third step, remember your second whole number is your 10th hash. So if I'm counting 10 spaces from 0 to 1, 0 is my 0, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and my 10 tenths is the number, the whole number, the counting number 1. My fourth and final step is to then look at the tenths, hundredths, etc. in the decimal that I'm given and plot it. So go ahead, please take a moment to write these down if you did not write these down yesterday in the skill lesson, or if you didn't have the skill lesson yesterday. Okay, let's look at the steps for fractions, plotting fractions. The first step, similar to with decimals, is determine the whole numbers the decimal is in between. Is the fraction a mixed number or improper fraction? The second step, and remember, if it's a mixed number or an improper fraction, you might need to convert it, which I will show you in a few moments. The second step, the denominator tells you how many hashes or spaces to make on the number line between the whole numbers. And remember, you have two whole numbers that you need to figure out where you're plotting your fraction. The third step is that the numerator tells you how many parts of a fraction you have and where to plot. So if I had 2/5, for example, I would make 5 hash marks because 5 is my denominator in between 0 and 1. And then the 2 tells me that I am on the second hash mark for plotting. Go ahead and take a moment to write these down as well. This is an important skill to get down. All right, let's go ahead and look at an example for today. I need to plot for my example today 8/5. We're going to first, number 1. Remember, you should be writing this down in your notebook. Let me focus my camera. There we go. Convert 8/5 into a mixed number. So how do I do that? Right now I have an improper fraction. I'm first going to figure out, okay, what equals my whole number? And I know that to get a whole number, I need to have the numerator be able to be divisible by the denominator. So the closest whole number I have to 8/5 is 5/5, which equals 1. So my next step is going to be, okay, I'm going to subtract the whole number from my improper fraction to figure out what whole number is in my mixed number. So 8/5 minus 5/5 is equal to 3/5. So I know that I can take 1 out. You can see that right there. So I am left with 1, that's 5/5, and then I subtract that from 8/5, and I still have 3/5 left over. So again, you want to figure out what whole number this is closest to, the improper fraction, and then subtract it. You can also draw a picture. So let's say I know that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so I got to see how many groups of 5 I can take out of here. And look, I only can take 1 group of 5 like we saw right here. And so I know there's 1. And then I know that I have 3/5, 3 dots left over, which gives me my remainder. So that is how you convert into a mixed number. Go ahead and pause, make sure you write all these down in your notebook. If you need to make some notes as well, you can do that. And then our next step is going to be plotting. So I'm going to flip my board. I know that to plot eight-fifths. First, step number 1 is to convert, which we did, to a mixed number. Then, I guess I can use more of my screen. Step number 2 is to follow your fraction plotting steps, which is why I reviewed that at the beginning. Okay, so I know my mixed number is 1 3/5. So in order to locate the whole numbers that this is in between, I know 1 3/5 is in between the whole numbers of 1, because I already have 1 there as my mixed number, but it's a little bit more than 1 because I have 3/5. If it were 5/5, then I would get to 2, but I'm not there. So in between 1 and 2, I'm going to go ahead and draw my number line. Wow, that is not a straight number line. Let's try that again. So I can throw 0 on here to orient. 1 and 2. Remember, 1 is equal to 5/5. Let me scoot up so you can see that a little bit. And 2 is equal to 10/5. How did I get that? Divided the denominator from the numerator. 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1. 10 divided by 5 is equal to 2. So that helps me put my whole numbers in terms of the fractions that I'm working with. Now my second step is then I know I need 5 spaces. And then, because I looked at my denominator. So, and that needs to be in between 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my fifth. And then I need to look at the numerator, which is 3, because I already took care of the whole number part of the mixed number when I determined which whole numbers I needed to plot it in between. So then I need to go 3 spaces or hashes over. One, two, 3. And that is how you plot 1 3/5. And as you can see, we are just building on the skills that we worked on yesterday with plotting whole numbers and not mixed decimals, just decimals in between 0 and 1. So go ahead, go back through this video if you need help, if you need to review stuff. Make sure you wrote it down in your notebooks to refer back to. Good luck on the independent practice. You got it.